today I was taken actually into the city of Atlanta at about 11 o'clock, went straight to the Greyhound station and bought my ticket to New Orleans for tonight, so that I know that I've got that ticket there and that I will get to New Orleans. And then went off to the aquarium. On the way to the aquarium, I went through the park, and there was, just in time to see an absolutely fantastic water display, which they only do every 3 hours, starting from 12:30. So I was very lucky to catch that one, having not known about it. So I sat and watched that for about 15 minutes and recorded it, then ate my lunch before going to the aquarium, which was actually very interesting, or I thought it was. And there's not really a lot that can be said about it. It's fish. Apart from the fact that it's the only aquarium in North America which has manta rays, and also one of the few aquariums in the world that has whale sharks, which are huge, and apparently were transported here from Taiwan at very great expense. But apart from that, and the beluga whales, which were quite interesting, there's not really a lot to say. Or at least not a lot that you couldn't see in other aquariums. Maybe the sea otters as well. But yeah, so I spent most of the afternoon there before heading on to do the inside tour of the world's first 24-hour news station, CNN. Which, again, not a lot really that can be said about it. It was just a case of showing us round all the newsrooms and backstage. Weren't able to go into any of them apart from a mock-up of one of the newsrooms. So it was all just watching through glass balconies and the tour guide telling you about it all. And yeah, that was about it really. So yes, only one particularly interesting thing has happened this weekend, which is going back to Monday night. Before we went swimming, we went out for a walk along the Chattahoochee River, and it was quite tranquil there. The river apparently is dammed, and they stop the river flowing at some point during the day, so it was really low and basically just mud rather than a river. But the interesting thing was seeing the fireflies, which I've never seen before, and it's actually quite interesting because most flies fly like that, so wings are on top. I hope you can see this. So the wings are on top and they fly parallel to the ground. Fireflies, because of the way the tail glows, fly at right angles to the ground, so they fly like this, with their wings on the back. Which, yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then, just before we got back to the car to drive back to their house, which was probably a couple of miles away, and it's been really hot and muggy here, so just that walk was more than enough along the Chattahoochee. But, yeah, so heading back to the car, just along the pavement, or along the path, I saw something black. which then started to move. Actually, possibly a better word to describe it would be slither. I was not happy at my first encounter with a wild snake. Well, actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was only a very small one, no more than about 2 feet maximum. But yeah, so I was actually surprisingly calm. I surprised myself in that I only had to go backwards a few paces, and I was able to stand there and watch the snake until it had slithered off the path. Although I did have to run past the point where it had slithered off. But although I surprised myself at how calm I was and how unscared I was, I do not want to do that again in a hurry. It was actually not quite as bad, but still quite bad at the aquarium when I was surprised they had one display of animals from above exotic rivers in the Amazon River, and they had, I know it was only a baby because it was only small, a emerald boa, and even with the glass between me and it, I wasn't happy, and I don't want to meet a snake just on my own. But anyway, that is my weekend. Well, that is it for my weekend. So now the next step is to head back to Greyhound and get on the bus, and tomorrow morning I will get off in New Orleans. Good night.